Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Marketers on the Move. And today I have a really special guest for you. In fact, she's more than special. She is enthusiasm personified, this lady. Her name is Mitali Deypurkaystha. Mitali, welcome and thank you for sharing your time with me.
Not a problem. And thank you for saying my surname so well. That's fantastic.
I only practiced it for an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitali is a very special lady. She's not just enthusiastic, but she's talented and she's charismatic. And with your permission, Mitali, I'd like to read a couple of things about you because my memory is not so good these days. It's a little bio to introduce you to the interview we're having today. Is that okay with you?
That's absolutely fine. I do cringe a little bit because, the British in me finds it really weird when people start saying nice things, but go for it.
Well, I'll make up a lot of crap if you like.
Let's see how you go.
Mitali, ghostwriter and business book expert, also known as the authority creator. I love that idea, the authority creator. And why does she say that? Because she transforms coaches and consultants and speakers into thought leaders, okay, by becoming published author. Think about this, becoming a published author within just 90 days. That's pretty darn special. So if you want to improve your authority, if you feel like you're not impressing enough people, you feel you're not getting enough business, then maybe you're missing something and Mitali can solve the problem for you. She is not just a book expert, she is a book coach, all right? She's ghostwritten seven, right? Is that correct, Mitali? 7 books,
Yes.
Making her clients, wait for it, over $5 million, okay? So she knows what she's on about. So she's very particular about what she does. She's also extremely, how would you say this, persistent in making sure she does the very best thing she can for every client she has. But more importantly, she's also got a freebie for you today. If you go to, and I'll make sure this is on the screen, if you go to thefreedommasterplan.com, guess what? You'll be able to grab Mitali's free, right? Complimentary, free, 5 steps to writing and publishing your business book. One of the very best pieces of value I've ever seen, and you don't have to pay for it. There you go. Was that a fair introduction?
That was lovely. Thank you.
Okay, even with my Aussie accent. All right. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of quick questions, Mitali?
Of course.
All right. Firstly, why did you write it? Why did you write the Freedom Master Plan?
Right. Okay. The overarching reason is that I've needed a lot of coaching and mentoring and help over my life through various things. So I've had weight issues. I was heavily overweight as a teenager. I then in my 20s had an addiction to amphetamines. I was living on the streets for about a year and living in homeless shelters. I don't want to get too far into it, but I actually come from a very good family. I had a wonderful, idyllic childhood, and then left home to go to university. And like some 18-year-olds think they know everything that there is to know on the planet, and you know nothing. And I went down a very dark path where I was just, doing drugs, and my life unraveled. And if it weren't for coaches, consultants, mentors, I'm not sure where my life would be. These people really did make a huge difference to my life. So the Freedom Master Plan and my program as well is all about helping coaches and consultants and speakers and helping these people stay in business and be seen as thought leaders. Last year in the summer, I found out from the International Coaching Federation that 82% of coaches will fail within 2 years. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics over in the States, they said that 80% of consultants fail within 2 years. So there's something going wrong here. And it just made me really unhappy because I just thought these are the people who really create transformations, whether, they're doing something in life, in fitness, in business, executive coaching, even, consulting, it doesn't matter what field these people are in. They are helping other human beings be the best version of themselves in life or business or health, whatever it is. And these people deserve to stay in business, first of all, and secondly, flourish in business. And it upsets me that these people find it difficult to stay in business. And one of the key reasons I found after research is they're not very good at sales and marketing. No one taught them how to do sales and marketing. And that's why I think we get on so well, because we got to know each other, because you're a fantastic sales coach and you help people. You teach people how to do sales in the correct way, which is serving and not being salesy. These are things that coaches and consultants they're not taught. When they get into whatever field of coaching or consulting they do, they're not taught how to do sales and marketing well. And the sad thing is, we live in a world where you could be an exceptional coach or consultant, but your business can fail if you don't get very good at sales and marketing. And you could be a very mediocre coach or consultant, but if you're very good at sales, you will succeed. So I created the Freedom Master Plan because I wanted to show people that if you become an authority in whatever it is that you do, that's when things become easier for you. You start to create that real attraction marketing where people come to you and want to work with you, as opposed to you chasing people and trying to get them to work with you.
Interesting, Mitali. The comment you made about 80+% of people failing in 2 years, consultants and coaches, etc. I think that's generous. I think that's very generous. I think many coaches and many consultants struggle to get through 120 days, let alone 2 years, right? Yes. And all I'm thinking is this: for anyone who's watching this video, be honest with yourself. If you really are struggling in any way to get yourself and your services, whatever they may be, if you believe in them, if you can bring an impact to people, that's great, but you don't know how the heck to do it because you just feel uncomfortable, Mitali is the person you need to be with. And more importantly than that, or just as importantly as that, you need to get her book, and we'll talk about where you can buy it soon. But remember this, write it down: the Freedom Master Plan, right? Only 4 words, but it could be the most important 4 words you've written down this year: the Freedom Master Plan. All right, now in the book, Mitali, here's another question for you. The book says, the book is not your business. Interesting comment. The book is not your business. Why do you feel that way?
Right. Well, let me actually give you a story to explain that. This is something that's just happened recently, Peter. There's a lady yesterday, a coach that I've met, a few times in different networking circles. And she asked me, so how much did it cost for you to publish your book? She just wanted to know, because she's interested in writing a book. And I said, well, all in all, if I add in the cost of a great editor, I did have my cover design. I had several concepts, first of all, before finalizing my cover design. I've got a brilliant typesetter who's doing all my interior design. And then, I need to publish it separately, because publishing electronically on Kindle is different to publishing on paperback. It's 2 separate projects, right, because it's 2 separate mediums. So if you add everything up, I told her I'd probably paid around about £3,000 to get my book to the professional standard it needs to be. And she was shocked. She was like, oh my God, £3,000. But you told me that you're going to be doing a launch deal on the 12th where you're going to give away your Kindle for 99 pence and your paperback is going to be at cost. How are you going to make that money back? And I said, I'm not going to make the money back. I'm not planning on selling the book and get, adding up the proceeds from the book to make my £3,000 back. So then I explained to her what I'd done the week previously. I said, there's a gentleman who I spoke to a few weeks ago, and he's very interested in writing a book, but he's a little bit on the fence. He's just mulling it over and wondering if this is the right time for him to do it. And he's very interested in my book. So then I told him, I said, hey, do you fancy being one of my really small team of advanced readers? And what that means is I'll send you a copy of my book via PDF. And if you can give it a read and leave me a review on Amazon before launch day, I'd be very, very happy. And then to reward you, I'll send you my paperback version, a signed copy, once it's released. And he said, absolutely, I would love to. I've been waiting for your book anyway. The fact that you want me to be an advanced reader before other people get it, I'm very honored. Send it across to me. I sent it across to him. He read it within 2 days. And then he rang me and said, okay, so I want to be your student now. How do I pay? £6,000. So that one, my book hasn't released, by the way. It's going to release on the 12th. So there's still nearly over 3 weeks before my book officially releases. This gentleman got a PDF of my book, not my actual book. Mm. And he's now paid for the £3,000 that I paid to publish it. This is what I mean about the book is not the business. If you're wanting to make money off the book, dream on. Because sadly, we don't live in a world now where you will make enough money from your business book. The average business book, I've been told, if it does well and you leverage it correctly, the average business book will sell around 3,000 copies. So you will make, maybe in its whole lifetime, you may make a few £1,000s or a few $1,000, just about to cover your costs of editing and publishing. It's not a great return on investment. Where the business is what I did, leveraging it. You sending a copy to your potential clients, you giving your copy away when you do events, when you do conferences, when you speak, giving them away. Most conferences have goodie bags that are given away to attendees. You could speak to the organizer, and if it's a targeted group of people who go to that event, you can give your book away, or you can give your book as a special launch price, such as 99 pence on Kindle. It's how you leverage your book. That's what's going to make the difference. It's going to make a difference in A, the number of clients that you can get for your business, and B, the amount you charge your client. Because once you're seen as an authority, you can charge more, and people are willing to pay more because they see you as the best in the field, as opposed to just another IT consultant, life coach, strategy consultant, whatever it is that you do. You're seen as a cut above the competition. So that's why I always say the book is not the business. Do not see your book as a thing, as a money-making tool. Instead, it is a great sales and marketing tool. And the money you're going to make is in higher revenue in your business. And that's why I make the distinction. When you did my wonderful intro, you said that I've made my clients in total over $5 million. Not $5 million in book sales. Heck no. I think if I added up all the amount they made in sales, it's less than $4,000 or $5,000 combined, all 7 of them. It's the amount of money they made in their business because they're now seen as an authority in their field. That's, if you add that all up, they've made combined over $5 million. But it's not the book. It's not from book sales. So
being a published author is all about positioning, perception, and professionalism, right? The 3 Ps.
Love that. That's it. That's exactly what it is. It's a shortcut to those 3. Those are the 3 Ps that you know most entrepreneurs endeavor to be seen as. Well, writing a book and being a published author, it's a shortcut to those 3 things.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a few more questions?
Of course you can.
Talking about the book, The Freedom Master Plan, and make sure you write that title down, The Freedom Master Plan, and we'll talk about when you can get it soon. What's the most important thing that readers can get from reading the book?
The most important thing is, well, first of all, I've already explained the most important thing, to understand what a book can do for your business, that the book isn't the business, it's how you leverage it. And the most important thing you'll understand from the Freedom Master Plan is how a book helps you to sell your services, your business, to sell you. We have an affinity, Peter, because you help people get over the sales mentality. A lot of people say, I'm sure they come to you and say, I can't do sales. I'm not very good at it. I don't know how to talk to people about, getting them to be interested in taking up my services. And you show them an amazing path on how you can do that by serving people instead of being salesy and the traditional kind of icky sales that nobody likes. And what I do is, it's very similar to you. It's almost kind of doing it just in a slightly different route, which is when people come to you after they've read your book, they're already pre-sold to you. So what you teach, you teach people that to sell, the best thing to do is to actually serve people, first of all. Be helpful. Show them that you can give them so much value that whatever they pay you is insignificant to the value that you're going to bring to their business or to their lives, whatever it is that your services do. Well, a book really, it kind of helps what you're teaching as well. It's a shortcut to that. When people, read a book, they're already pre-sold to you because you've already served them. You know, they already feel that you've served them. You've already given them so much value. You've given them light bulb moments within the book. So by the time they turn up in your life and say, hey, I want more help, it's much easier to have that conversation with them. It doesn't feel salesy because they already feel that you've done so much for them. It's a shortcut to getting them to say yes to whatever it is you do, to whatever services you provide.
Mitali, I mean, there's people listening to this and they're hearing what we're talking about and the actual unbelievable value of being able to position yourself as a professional and with a published book. But there may be some fears people have been thinking, I can't do that. Yeah, I don't know how I could possibly write a book. Okay, what would you say to people who are thinking like that?
What I would say is, it's actually a good thing that you're thinking that way. It might sound a little bit strange, but it's a good thing that you're thinking that way. Because what you're thinking, that overwhelming feeling of, oh my God, I've got all this knowledge in my head, but I really don't know how I could bring it out into some sort of cohesive sense that is a book. That is what stops the vast majority of people. That's what stops your competitors from becoming a published author. So it's actually a good thing. What I would hate to see is a world where writing a book becomes so easy that it becomes the way of websites. You and I, we were old enough, Peter, to, if you don't mind me saying, to remember a time before websites. I definitely remember a time before websites.
Absolutely.
And I remember people having websites. This will be sort of early 2000s when people started to have websites. And if you had a website, you were head and shoulders above your competition. Everyone thought you were amazing if you had a website. Now it's the opposite. Now it's a case of you have to have a website. Otherwise, you're not even taken seriously, but it doesn't even do much for you. I have so many entrepreneurial friends who have these amazing websites who they're paying monthly for upkeep and, you know, updating plugins and themes. And yet it generates no leads for them whatsoever. Most of their leads come from networking or social media. And yet they have to have this website because it's now seen as you have to have one, otherwise you're not taken seriously. I'd hate to live in a world where every entrepreneur, every coach, every consultant felt they had to write a book just to keep up, you know, in the same way with websites. So it's actually a good thing if you think, oh my gosh, this is a huge task, because it means that's exactly what your competitors are thinking. What I would say is you need to push through that. You've already mentioned my 5 steps to writing and publishing guide. It's completely free. That will walk you through the 5 steps you need to go through to write and publish your book. And if you feel you need more help, just come to someone like me. Come and speak to a book coach, a book mentor, who will walk you through and hold your hand through the whole process. So it doesn't feel overwhelming. I'm not going to lie and say it's an easy task. If it was easy, every single person would be a published author. But it's not as hard as you think, especially if you break it down into small digestible chunks, which is what a good book coach or a good book mentor will do for you. So I would say, feel overwhelmed, but then smile about it, because that's exactly what your competitors are doing. But what your competitors are going to do is go, I can't do it, and then forget about it. And I hope what you will do is feel overwhelmed, but then push through and say, but I'm going to do it.
Great answer. Great answer. Now, talking about this darn book, The Freedom Master Plan, make sure you've written it down. Okay, when can we get it and where can we buy it?
You can buy it on Amazon. It's going to be on all the major Amazon platforms, so .com, .co.uk. I've also, believe it or not, picked up a few fans in Germany. Who would have thought? So it's going to be on the German Amazon platform, the Netherlands platform, Canada, Australia. It's going to be worldwide on all the major Amazon platforms on Friday, the 12th of March. So it's going to be available on Friday, 12th of March, and worldwide, wherever you're living, you'll be able to get it. If you go to my website, thefreedommasterplan.com, and you grab the guide, the free guide that I was talked about, what that'll also do is allow me to let you know when the book is released, because just for people who've got my guide, I'm going to do a special launch on the 12th, where they can get the Kindle for 99 pence or 99 cents, depending on where you are in the world, or they'll get the paperback at cost. I don't know what that will be yet, because Amazon have yet to tell me how much it's going to cost me to print and send out. But I'm literally going to you do it at cost, just for the people who've grabbed my guide. Everybody else will pay normal price for the Kindle and the paperback, but it'll be available on the 12th, on Friday, the 12th of March.
12th of March, not long to go. Okay.
Oh, just 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks.
Mitali, thank you. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Now, if people need to contact you, and I'm sure they will, what's the best way to do that?
The best way to do that is via my email. So it's mitali@thefreedommasterplan.com, or you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. I get around.
Okay.
I get around. The thing is, I have to be aware my target audience is, and coaches and clients, consultants, and speakers, they're all online. They're on social media. So that's where I am. So you will find me, especially with a huge surname like mine. There's only me and my family with that surname in the whole of Facebook. Can you believe? How many people are on Facebook, Peter? Is it 2 million?
1 point something billion.
1 point something. Oh, yes, we're on billion now, aren't we? Yes, and there's only me and my family with my surname, so I can't hide. You will find me.
Mitali Deypurkaystha, it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. And I strongly, strongly recommend anyone who's watching this interview to get that darn book. Get yourself organized. Let Mitali help you to achieve what you've probably been struggling to achieve, and that is positioning, professionalism, and a perception of being someone who needs to be the person to talk to. Thank you, Mitali.
Thank you, Peter. I really appreciate this.
Okay.